Good morning and welcome to the Red Mic. Happy Monday. I'm glad you are here. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's message, rebranding. It should be a slight reinvention, but it shouldn't blow up everything you've done. We're going to follow the advice of Darrell K. and to at least some extent, we're going to dance with the one that brung you. Well, what do I mean by all that? Okay, think back. I'm predating a lot of y'all. Hell, I'm predating myself here. the beach sound band Jan and Dean. They were a duo, right? Jan and Dean. They had a song called Dead Man's Curve, and it's about a drag race, right? It's about a drag race that goes horrifically bad, but it's about a drag race at its core. And who are the participants in that drag race? There was a Stingray and an XKE, a Jaguar. In fact, even in the song, he refers to, he rolled down the window of his shiny new Jag, right? And he challenged him to a drag. There was a drag race, right? But it's a drag race in the traditional sense. It's not RuPaul's Drag Race. And unfortunately, Jaguar in their rebrand, it's more RuPaul than, throaty growl of an engine. Now I get they're transitioning to electric and everything that entails, but they have forgotten, I think, what it is to be a Jaguar, right? It's sleek. It's powerful. It's ahead of the pack, right? It's out there. It's a predator almost, right? What in the Jaguar rebrand with all of the day glow colors and the round features and the different shaped font, and there was no Jaguar to be found. And it was a J and an R smushed into a logo. I mean, like him or hate him, Elon Musk's evaluation was like, you sell cars, right? I mean, there wasn't a car in the thing, right? It was almost like they were trying to make Jaguar into being the new version of Scion. You remember Scion? Came out at least a decade ago. And it was a youth-featured, youth-targeting entity. Was it Honda or Toyota? See, it's been so long I can't even remember. I think it was Honda. And for a while, yeah, they sold some cars, but Scion as a brand doesn't exist anymore. So this rebrand of Jaguar, it's by the way, if you don't know, I've worked largely in and near communications most of my life. Started off in radio. I was a radio DJ for a few years, then moved into the newspaper business, back into radio, and then when I moved into public servant. But even as a public servant, all of my jobs in one way, shape, or form have been about communicating, whether it was being a speechwriter or leading communications for an agency. And I've been knee deep in rebrands too. I was part of the rebrand a few years ago when the Veterans Land Board rebranded as VLB, right? And there were some aspects of that rebrand that I thought went a little bit too far too fast. I understand the whole need, but it ultimately ended up being a rebrand. But it changed the way that what the VLB did and does was presented. It didn't get away from its core, which is, hey, we're all about veterans, right? Jaguar doesn't seem to be doing that. They're just going for a new vision, a bold new future. I mean, that's what Radio Shack, when they tried to become the Shack, right? Radio Shack doesn't exist anymore, right? I mean, Yeah, you could rebrand and say, hey, yeah, we're the Shack, we're cool, we're hip. But it still looked like a 1980s garage sale in that place. You can slap any, here's a note to Jaguar, you can slap any logo or tagline you want on your cars, but if you get too far away from the core of what Jaguar has always been, a luxury experience, a clean ride, a smooth ride, a powerful ride, what's the point? I mean, you've thrown away decades of brand heritage like it's like it's garbage. I mean, you know how hard it is to establish iconic status in a crowded market? It can take years or decades. Jaguar is trying to go the way of Sci-Fi Channel, which got rid of the I's in their name and went sci-fi. Big Bang Theory even made fun of it. I think it was Raj who said, "What is this, sci-fi?" No, I mean, it sounded like a skin condition or a new drug. Try the new sci-fi. No, it's sci-fi. It's science fiction. And don't blow up your brand to do a rebrand. Why? I mean, yeah, it's different, but is it better? No. I mean, it's new Coke. It's Pepsi's smirking logo. I mean, or British Airways tail fins and McDonald's with their hashtag McD stories. Who cares? You know, a rebrand should be a triumph, not a cautionary tale. And yes, I talked about Elon saying, hey, don't you sell cars? So, yeah, he got that part of it, but he's also, frankly, in my opinion, the architect of a really bad rebrand, going from Twitter to X. I mean, yes, X marks the spot, but okay, what does that mean? Twitter, you knew what you did. You were doing a tweet. Now it's like, oh, well, X, you're posting. Well, you post on every other thing. That complete rebrand. I mean, he didn't just rebrand, he blew it up. He changed the name. You know, the problem with that is he changed the name without really changing the identity or the product. He tried to just put a new name and a new logo on something that already existed, and still to this day there's people who still refer to it as Twitter. I mess up all the time and still call it Twitter. So if you're going to rebrand, whether you're talking about yourself, your business, whatever it is, you've got to remember, you've got to define the why behind your rebrand. Make sure the rebrand aligns with your company's mission, values, future goals, and past identity at least a little bit. It should solve problems or market shifts or perceptions, not just try to be modern and hip. Do your research. Know where your customer is and your best potential customer. Know who they are, where they are, why they buy what they buy. You have to still retain some of that core brand identity. Now, obviously, I don't make the millions of dollars that these geniuses that helped Jaguar, but I would have, if you're going to rebrand to an electric, fine, rebrand to an electric. When I thought about rebranding Jaguar, what would I do? And I kept going back to the uh, the animation that Fox NFL does, where they actually have a predatory type creature going through, the graphics and logos and stuff. Do something like that. Keep the Jaguar, because a J and an R, that's just Junior, man. Who wants to be Junior? So hold on to that core brand identity. Stay consistent across all of your touch points. Engage with good storytelling, good communication, good visuals. Again, you're a car company. Where's the car? What are these Dayglow puffball outfits and hairstyles, and what the heck is that? I mean, why are you trying to erase everything you do? Where is the sleek, predatory elegance in favor of a, hey, we're a mid-tier tech startup and we're trying to show you how cool and hip we are by coming out with a bunch of 90s Dayglow colors and a logo that means nothing. Don't forget your brand identity. Don't forget your brand equity. Again, it's junior. Who cares? That's ambiguous at best. So, if you're going to rebrand, fine, rebrand. But don't blow up everything that tells people exactly who you are and what you've been. A rebrand should be growth. It shouldn't be just new for the sake of being new. And for what it's worth, that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting or helpful. I hope you'll be back again tomorrow. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving week. If you're going to work, I certainly am. Be safe out there, work hard, and then hopefully you'll be joining together, family and home and hearth and all of that. I'll see you later this week. Don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon.